What's happening, people? And what you need, you're watching my channel. As always, if you like what you're seeing, smash that like button. Share the video. Subscribe. Comment. You can comment on this live feed if you're live with me right now. All comments I'm allowed once they're not disrespectful, once they're not disrespectful. All right? Let's get into this general boxing talk. It's nice to be back. It's nice to have my phone back. And it's nice to be with you guys. So let's talk some general talks in boxing, some of the general themes. You guys can feel what you want to talk about as well. First topic, Canelo. Of late, I listen to different people talk about Canelo, and I want to talk a little bit about Canelo myself. As you know, Canelo took to heart a lot of things that Floyd Mayweather taught him when he faced him. And as a result of that, Canelo is going to be a very difficult fighter to beat in the future. He's getting better and better. It's important for people to understand that I'm not saying this because I'm a fan of Canelo. There are a lot of upcoming fighters right now who are going to be damn great. The list goes on and on. Dimitri Bivol, Benavidez, Callum Smith, Billy Joe Saunders, Chris Eubank Jr., Jamal Charlo, Demetrius Andre. These are all young cats on the up above. Artur Beterbiev, right? And all of these guys are going to be a force to be reckoned with in boxing around Canelo's weight class. They're the future. And so when I'm talking about Canelo, I'm talking in the context of these guys that he will face in the future. And I'm saying that he's the most experienced of them. And I'm saying he got his schooling from the master class boxing by Floyd Mayweather. Took it to heart. He's always in the gym. He's always working. He's always learning. He's always training. A fighter like that's hard to beat because he basically has got a head start on all the other fighters in his weight classes, whether above him or below him. With this new crop, Canelo is the most experienced of them. It's going to be damn hard to beat him. And he could surpass Floyd Mayweather in terms of the amount of opponents, world champions, etc., that he beats. He is right now currently at 15 world champions. Julio Cesar Chavez was at 15 world champions himself. Out of 19 world champions, he beat 15. Canelo has beaten 14 or 15. I heard Robert Garcia and his father saying that Canelo surpassed every single Mexican fighter in the history of boxing. I don't think quite yet, but he's on the verge of doing so already. And if he keeps on fighting stiff competition, he will be the greatest Mexican fighter ever. And the best Mexican fighter ever. So we're going to watch and see how that goes on. People criticize Canelo quite a lot. Some reasons are somewhat valid and some reasons are not. At the end of the day, if he keeps on winning, and beating these young, hungry lions, then it will show how good he is. Now, the reason why Canelo was able to do this, and the number one reason is Canelo has that special defense. And of late, he's been pot-shotting more than he has been throwing combinations. He's following the footsteps of Floyd. He has precise footwork. He's defensively responsible in almost everything he does. If he's walking to you, he's keeping his defense tight. He's moving backwards, he got that tight defense. And he can fight in any place in the ring. So, the guy that Canelo has patterned himself a whole lot after, no matter what he tells you about Sugar Ray Robinson and all these other guys and how Sugar Ray Robinson is the greatest fighter, listen, Canelo didn't fight Sugar Ray Robinson. He didn't learn from Sugar Ray Robinson the things he knows today in the amount and the magnitude that he does now. The reason he knows so much and the magnitude of his knowledge is from fighting Floyd. Whether he wants to give Floyd the credit or not. That's the guy he patterns himself after now. And he's dedicated himself to the sport. So, do I think there are boxers out there that can beat him? Yes. Will they beat him? More than likely not. But there are boxers out there that can beat him. They have the skills to do it. They may not have the experience, but they have the skills to do it. And they have the strength and the mindset to do it. Can they do it? I somewhat doubt it because of the experience Canelo has, the kind of opposition he has faced, and the level of boxing he's been at. None of them have been at that level for as long as Canelo has. But I would still like to see it. Let's go to another topic. And this one's initiated by, took me a little while to get to you, Dumb Boya. Is that Bois? You gotta tell me what your name is, all right, my dude? He says, what's up, bro? Gervonta Davis is my favorite fighter. What do you think about him being the man at 135? Gervonta Davis has a lot of skills. Call me dumb, bro. All right, dumb. Gervonta Davis has a lot of skills. And he has a lot of ability. My problem is not his ability. It's not his training. It's his dedication and professionalism to the sport of boxing. I don't even care about what he does outside the ring in terms of his life outside the ring with his baby mamas and all of that. It's what concerns me within the ring and his preparation for fights. Don't forget to smash that like button, Dom, bro. Don't forget to smash that like button, Dom, or Dom. So, does he have the potential to be the man at 135? Absolutely. Absolutely, without a doubt. Now, he's facing some other young, hungry lions like Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez, and Ryan Garcia, and Rolly Romero, and then we got the old dog, Lomachenko, up in there. So he got some names. Here he's going down to 130 to fight Leo Santa Cruz. So he'll be down 130 again for a minute. My problem is just his dedication to the sport. His professionalism and his dedication to the sport. Now, I know he's dedicated. You don't get to that level if you're not dedicated. But like Errol Spence, he has to be careful with his weight and managing his weight. He has to stay ready. You can't let it go and be eaten. And listen, I understand. He really is not a 135 pounder, okay? Gervonta should be at 160 something pounds eventually at the end of his career. He walks around probably 160. Okay, so I get it. Errol Spence walks around 180. Okay, but when you're dedicated to a sport, you got to be like Sean Porter. You got to be somewhere 15 pounds north, of your desired weight in your weight class. Can't be more than that. And Gervonta's way beyond that, and he has to make weight. You see him in all these baggy stuff around him. He's always making weight while he's training. Adrian Broner was the same thing. And that does not lead to durability in the sport of boxing. Gervonta, I've seen his amateur fights, and I've seen what he is. He's a force of nature. Okay? He's an incredible boxer. But talent alone, Zab Judah had talent. Zab Judah had skills. In some respects, Zab Judah was more gifted than Floyd. He had power. He had good hands. He was faster than Floyd. His stance was very strong. He had good quickness, good speed. Pernell Whitaker trained him very well in the southpaw stance. Mentored him very well. His father, Judah, did a great job with him. Okay? But Zab Judah, the discipline up here, that mental discipline to stay focused, didn't have it. And Gervonta, his discipline is going to be controlling his love for food and eating heavy. I saw him with Adrian Broner, and they just downing them food, man. They got big set of food. All right, you can't be always doing that all the time. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't eat plenty and burn the cardio off. I understand. But you can't be doing that all the time. You're going to blow up to 160 something pounds. You'll be 40 pounds north of what you need to be. Or you be like 45, 130, 160, 165, 130, 160. You 35 pounds north of what you need to be. Or 30 pounds north of what you need to be. That's ridiculous, man. Errol Spence is like what 50 pounds north of what he need to be? Not 50, like he's what 33? Come on, god damn it. They gotta roll that, they gotta rope that shit in, man. Rope that shit in. You got to discipline yourself. All around the board, and it's hard. It's hard to do. I'm not telling people that's an easy thing to do. But you gotta find a way. Some boxers used to have to stay busy fights in between to keep that weight down. Roberto Duran was that kind of guy. He had to stay busy all the time. But you gotta find a way to not have to be doing a weight camp while you're training. So, Brother Dome, I hope this helps you, Dome. Shout out to you. Intangible Boxing has a question. Kosai Tanaka versus Kazuto Ioka may be occurring. One of the biggest fights in Japanese history. Cannot wait. Yeah. I saw it in the news. I couldn't reply to it or anything because didn't have this forum to do so. Don't forget to smash the like button, Intangible. Yeah, I understand. It's a great fight. Two Japanese fighters. Of course, the hot item there is Tanaka. Tanaka is the hot item, I believe. We'll see how he performs against Ioka. It should be a good fight. Intangible Boxing says Gervonta is wasting his career. I wouldn't say so at all. I wouldn't say that at all. I disagree. Gervonta Davis is doing the right things. He's getting the right fights. He's moving along. They're moving him along well. I don't see any problems with Gervonta. I just think he needs to control his weight. He has missed weight. He waits the last minute to get. Because, see, what Gervonta is doing is he want to come in the ring 15 pounds heavier than he weighed in at. So, if he weighed 130, he come in 145, 148. If he weighed in at 135, he want to come in 150. So he's a bigger dude in that ring. That's where he gets his power from. Okay? Remember, I think a lot of people don't get the right understanding that boxers may weigh the day before at a certain weight, but they don't come in on fight night that weight. They come in with a weight advantage, sometimes big weight advantage over their opponents, and that's how they're able to get them out of there because the weight of their punch, the power comes from their weight as well. and then they're actually not in the weight class. They're actually another weight class. Actually, you'd be facing. So, Tank is a guy that can box. Devin Haney, he sparred him twice, I think. And Tank can box. Okay, don't get it twisted. You see, Tank has been telling you guys, you only seen one side of his career. Just look at him in the amateurs again. He was a smaller guy, actually, in the amateurs. And he was a hell of a fighter. Tank is a hell of a fighter. Don't get it twisted. Tank has a lot more skill than you think. A lot of you guys don't understand. Tank is not just a KO guy. Okay, he can box, And he showed a little bit of it against the Puerto Rican fighter. I forgot what his name is. Jose Pedraza. Okay, and Pedraza himself, he's a switch hitter. He's an inside fighter. He can box on the outside. I mean, Pedraza can do all kinds of things. Switch, change stance. He can shift. He can do all kinds of things. All right. The fight with Tank went 7 rounds because Pedraza was doing different things in there, No, Tank's going well. He's going well. He said he made some comments about Mayweather and stuff, and going to Vegas. And Tank may want to do it his way. I'm not mad with Tank. If Tank want to do it his way, he can do it his way. I just think that if I had a mentor like Mayweather and he was suggesting certain things to me that made sense, I'd do it. It took Tank a little while to start doing, staying ready. Floyd had all been telling Tank to stay ready. Floyd had told Tank to come to Vegas. And Tank chose to, stay in Baltimore with his trainer and then, go to Atlanta. He chose to go to Atlanta, not Vegas. Okay, Tank got to know himself. He's his own man. You don't have to follow what Floyd's saying. It's just a suggestion. Floyd was really trying to strong arm Tank for a minute, too. So, now Floyd is training. Rolly Romero has been trained by Mayweather and is being trained by Mayweather. Devin Haney is being trained by Mayweather, and Mayweather's taking him under his wing and showing him the different, he's showing him this is what you get with these belts and so on. So you know how it go. And Mayweather's giving Haney tips. That doesn't mean that Mayweather's not on the phone, still keeping in contact with his client and his son, Tank. Don't get it twisted. And Tank is, trying to sort out his situation. He's a big man and he's trying to sort out his situation. And so, that's how it go with Tank. You're growing up. It's part of the growing up process. Don't do like Floyd was some angel, because Floyd wasn't no angel. Y'all know that. He made a lot of mistakes himself too. So I'm not hard on Tank. Once Tank starts to stay ready, I see Tank training like a mother all over the place, and that's very good. Because he's being mocked by Virgil Hunter. Virgil Hunter called him a fat boy when he had to come by Virgil Hunter to do training. Tank was out of shape, out of weight. He went across by Roger and Andre Roger. Andre Roger called him fat boy as well. So Tank's getting the message. Stay in shape and stay ready. And every time you see Floyd Mayweather, he's staying in shape. He's just a trainer now, but he's staying in shape. Stay ready. Let's see what the fans be saying here on this. I love my boxing fans. I love you guys. I just hope that I can give you guys little nuggets about boxing. That's all I want to do. Intangible Boxing says Tank is fighting Ricardo Nunes and Leo Santa Cruz is not ideal to me. Hold on a second. Let's see what you're saying there. He should be fighting the Luke Campbells and the Jamal Herrings of the world. Jamal Herring, he's at super featherweight though. And Leo Santa Cruz is moved up to super featherweight. So Tank facing Leo is a good fight in my opinion. I'm going to tell you why. Leo Santa Cruz is a volume puncher, but he's also pretty decent boxer with a decent jab. Not quite sure what happened there, but we just lost transmission for a second. I'm sorry. Yeah, a.k.a. the Jackal, who stole his name from Guillermo Rigondeaux and patterned himself after Guillermo Rigondeaux, just wasn't a southpaw. And Leo beat him, if you do recall, um, the second time around. He beat Abner Mares, who's a 4-divisional world champion and a very damn good fighter. And y'all said that the matchup between Mares and Gervonta Davis was a good matchup, and I thought so too. I wanted to see it, and Mares went and hurt his eye. Okay, it's all good. So Leo Santa Cruz, no, that's a good matchup. Not at lightweight, obviously. They're going to fight at 130. I think it's a good fight. I want to see it. Leo has a good chance of beating Gervonta if Gervonta tires out, if he's not well conditioned, and he's trying to get a break. He's not going to get a break with Leo. Leo's not going to give him no break, and Leo's the longer guy, you know. And Leo, for those of you who don't know, beat Adrian Broner in the amateurs. You know, Tank, you know, if Tank's not on his game, Leo could beat him. Y'all look at Leo, y'all don't understand. Leo was a beast. I thought Leo was nothing, because he, you know, I was looking at him like Abner Mares is all he got on his resume, but then he got Abner Mares, got Kyle Frampton. He been fighting better opposition these days. Okay. So pay attention to Leo Santa Cruz, and don't count him out of a fight like that. But yeah, hell, I would love to see Jamal Herring against Tank. That would be a good fight as well. Excellent fight. You know, Southpaw versus Orthodox. Jamal Herring, not as much a volume puncher as a Leo Santa Cruz. See, Leo Santa Cruz brings something else to the table. He brings volume. He brings activity. How does Tank handle a guy with volume? We've seen that against Yuriorkis Gamboa, he was kind of gassed out coming down the stretch, and he had to buy time. You can't buy time against Leo. So, I mean, that style matchup is an interesting one, in my opinion, in which Leo could win, especially as it's at super featherweight, which is a low weight class. And the big challenge will be, can Tank make weight? That's another thing that's going to be challenging. So I'm just saying that Intangible, you know, there's certain things I would consider and not count Leo out like that at all. I mean, Leo's a winner. You know, the 2 losses he's had, he's avenged them. So, you know, he's not no chump. He is a true fighter. I would love to see Leo versus Gary Russell Jr. as well. I would love to see that. I would love to see Gary Russell Jr. rematch Lomachenko. I would love to see that too. Would I like to see Tank versus Luke Campbell? Absolutely. Absolutely. Campbell, again, has reach. Not that is going to make a difference with Tank, but he's also southpaw. I'd love to see Tank go up against another, you know, world-class southpaw and see how he does against them. So absolutely, I would love to see that too. So you're not making bad suggestions. I'm just saying, don't count out Leo Santa Cruz. That's all I'm saying. Intangible Boxing, man, you guys been coming at it with the questions. Let's go. Intangible Boxing says, that's all well and good. If your best opponent is Leo Santa Cruz, who's past his best, I don't know if he's past his best, though. I mean, why would you say that? He hasn't lost in a while. And is a paper champion by beating a fighter who wasn't ranked top 100. Okay, I give you that. He didn't really have an authentic belt. Okay, I give you that one. But he is a name, and you got to respect it. He beat Kyle Frampton. He beat Abner Mares. You know, you got to respect him. By beating a fighter who wasn't ranked top 100 in his own division, I think that's questionable. Okay, I got you, though. I understand where you're coming from. Leo Tank is a great fight. Yeah, I think so. I think so, too. I agree with Dom. Intangible Boxing says, Tank has not fought a guy top 10 ranked in his own division since probably 2017. I don't think it's good. But Leo's a name, though. And Leo has been top guy at featherweight. It's not like you're going against a tomato can. He's not a tomato can. Intangible Boxing says, Gary can't beat Lomachenko in my eyes. I don't think that's realistic. Okay, that's your opinion. I think he can. I thought it was a close fight when he faced Lomachenko the first time. And dropped him, by the way. I would love to see a rematch. I wouldn't have a problem with that. You guys got anything else? You guys don't have anything else? Okay. So, I try to interface with the fans, Intangible and Dom. Thank you for your questions and your contributions. I started off with Canelo. Next thing, I'm going to talk about some of the current events. I've listened to some people and some channels, talk down about Jamal Charlo. I understand where they're coming from in terms of level of opposition he has faced. But let's not forget Jamal Charlo was the guy that beat J-Rock. I mean, come on now. J-Rock became unified champion as well of the world, beating, by the way, a guy that Jamal Charlo didn't get to face, but in his prime, looked like the dominant force for the 154 division. Help me remember his name, because I drew a blank there. So I'm just saying. You don't have to agree with me. I'm just saying J-Rock was a good win. He wasn't world champion when he beat him, but J-Rock was a good win. And now we got Rosario there, and we may have Jamal Charlo versus Rosario. I would love to see that as well. Jamal Charlo avenging his only loss to Tony Harrison, getting that stoppage. So Tony Harrison showing that he's in the mix as well. He's a force to be reckoned with. We see Erickson Lubin now talking about people, ducking and dodging him. Not necessarily that, but it just shows his hunger, and that's a good thing. You know what I mean? And Erickson Lubin, was stopped by Jamal Charlo. I mean, you can't overlook the Charlos. You just can't overlook them. So, I mean, do I think they are the best boxers right now at 154? No, but the determination and 160, no. But I think that the determination and the mindset and the fact that, guys like Lomachenko and Canelo give these guys even more shine by not facing them when they were their mandatories, I think it resonates. Now, I don't mean, again, I'm going to say this again, that Canelo ain't a killer and he ducks and dodges anyone, even though I feel unofficially, I don't know how to say it, but it's like a duck when you just don't face Jamal Charlo. Like, why are you not facing the dude? Like, why? The WBC gave you this franchise belt, which is kind of, to me, the franchise belt, it's an insult to boxing. I try to make sense of it, and it just don't make no sense to me, But, Canelo jumped up to 175, faced Sergey Kovalev. Kovalev did a good effort at, preserving himself and trying to get the best possible win in that fight. He performed better than I expected. I thought Canelo was going to get him out in 6, and it went to 10. And he still stopped him, but I'm just saying. And I thought that Kovalev did an excellent job and actually made me have to reverse my decision about, Canelo, this being a chump job. I still thought that the Kovalev fight, and I still do to this day, I still think that the Kovalev fight is an easier fight for Canelo than, say, a Demetrius Andrade fight, or even a Billy Joe Saunders fight, or even a Jamal Charlo fight, for the fact that Kovalev always fades later on in his fights. And because he's gotten stopped and he's soft to the body, I just thought that these other guys would give a tougher fight because of that. Not to say that his credentials aren't exceptional, but those little flaws in his game that Andre Ward exposed, he never fixed them. He never addressed them. And so, but I thought he did an excellent job of protecting his body in the Canelo fight. And in fact, even though Canelo still got to punish him to the body and set up the headshots from the feints to the body, I still thought that he did an excellent job of carrying it that long. I didn't expect the fight to go that long. Dumb Boyer says, would you like to see one of Charlo's fight Andrade? Absolutely, 100%. I would love to see Jamal Charlo face Demetrius Andrade. I would love to see that. I would love to see the Charlos and Andrade get fights with Canelo, with Saunders, with all the new crop that I just spoke about, all the way up to Bivol and Artur Beterbiev. I would love to see them go all the way up to 175, and some of them go to cruiserweight. Yeah. You guys getting exclusive access. I want to get Zoom so you guys can jump on Zoom and we can talk. One of the things I'm going to try to do from learning from experience is not cut people off, not kick people off my programs unless you're disrespectful. So if you're disrespectful, I'm going to have to mute you, or I'm going to have to pull you off the program. But other than that, your point of view, I want you to express your point of view. Because let me tell you why. There are diverse points of view in boxing. I realize I'm diverse boxing fans. And sometimes the ridiculous point of view that seems ridiculous is not ridiculous. And you can learn something from everybody's point of view. So I'm going to try to allow for that. And I'm going to try to get you guys to have call-ins. My next phone is fixing, so we can get call-ins in there. I have a little laptop over here. You guys can't see it. It's outdated in terms of its software, so I was able to kind of jump on as what you need. It took me hours sometimes to type something because the thing would seize up and all kinds of craziness would happen. And I learned how to keep my composure under all those things, you know, and try to be more systematic and methodical with you guys. To allow you guys to really love this sport. I see some of you have the love and passion for the sport, but I want you to get it right. I want you to be able to get the sport, to get it. You know, not just get caught up in power. A lot of people get caught up in power. A lot of people get caught up in, you know, how strong a guy is. I understand that, but it's still a casual mentality to think that there's so much nuance to boxing, and you have to kind of understand the craft of boxing, the skill of boxing, the art of boxing, the art of war, okay, let me give you an example, because I always use Floyd Mayweather. He's the gold standard. That's why I use him. Floyd Mayweather as an example. I'm going to use Pacquiao as an example, because they're two shining lights right now in boxing in terms of their accomplishments and everything, right? They're like the exceptions. They just, you know, they did it like they went out of the stratosphere, right? Mayweather captures the sweet science of boxing. Mayweather is a boxing scientist. You could see he's contemplative. He studies it. He studied the art. He studied the business of boxing. He studied the actual boxing in the ring, right? You could see he studied it. He's a student of boxing. And as a result of that, over all those years, he watched it scientifically, broke it down, and he got a formula down with his team, and that's how Mayweather approached boxing. Pacquiao approached boxing with heart. And with zeal, with passion. Okay, that's why he's still boxing to this day. It's a passion. For him, it's a release. For him, it's an expression. Okay? And he loved Muhammad Ali, so you see him do the alley shuffle. He loved Sugar Ray, so you see him do the bowler punches and stuff, right? And have his little fun in the ring. And for him, it's like a haven. Just like how Mayweather in the ring, it's like he's got all that control. It's like a haven for him as well. To this day, Mayweather is a what? He is a gym rat. You see Mayweather, he live in the gym. You see him riding his bikes. That's his thing. He likes that. Okay? He got his girl collection and all of that, and he got his businesses he do, but you can see he live off of that gym mentality. Okay? That mindset, that science. Okay? So if you guys like the science of boxing, if you like the scientific mindset, if you like the you know, how to apply the skills a certain way, do this and this technique and that technique, you're gonna love Floyd Mayweather. Okay, I came from a martial arts background where I learned discipline, and the martial arts background also taught me the science of life and the methodology behind my life. I read the book The Art of War, and I saw the science behind it. You understand what I'm saying? So that a lot of things, a lot of people don't understand. You can't be intuitive. When you look at the Vietnam War, I'm going into war for a second, right? And you guys, when you're ready to talk, because this is what this is for. This is you guys to express yourselves. In the Vietnam War, for example, right? How did the Vietnamese beat the might and power of America, dropping bombs and shit? They beat them with smarts. They beat them with a science. They pretended they were weak and rushed all into the little holes, little bunkers in the ground, and disappeared. And they started booby trapping them using guerrilla warfare. What does Pacquiao use? Guerrilla warfare. He booby trap. He hits you when you least expect it. He make you feel like you're throwing off all those punches on him, right? He got you punching, and then he counters you, right? And he starts launching his barrage of attacks. 8-punch combination, 9-punch combinations on you, right? When you thought you was in most control, that's when he just comes on you, right? Mayweather, the art of war, the ambush fighter, the guerrilla warfare. When you least expect it, when you was not expecting a punch, boom, there it comes, right? He'd be all defensive and everything, and boom, there it comes. And then he catch you with those secretive little sneaky punches, those little jabs to the little stabs to the stomach, little knives right on the inside in the clinch, right? The science of boxing, the art of war. to beat your opponent, and they not knowing that they are being defeated. They're not aware that they're being defeated. They're not aware that they're being programmed for something else. If you guys like the sweet science of boxing, y'all gonna like Pacquiao and Mayweather, and y'all gonna like Maypac 1. Because there was a lot of sneaky shit going on in there. And a lot of little games Pacquiao was playing with Mayweather. Cat and mouse game. Right? And that's what you guys, that's why I appreciate that fight. All right? And he had me on the edge of my seat because I realized something could just go off just like that. And then when Pacquiao get the edge, it was like, oh my God. So if you're a sweet scientist and you understand what these guys are doing, you're going to enjoy Mayweather a lot. And then he's so flashy with it, like he got style and swag with it, you know. He do all these little maneuvers and get out of the way of a punch, and then after that, he come with a punch, boom, and it looks so slick and just, it looked like a video game. All right, Pacquiao a little bit more raw, you know, he's not as slick and he's not as flashy, and, you know, he ain't got that, what we call that, no, he ain't got that. Okay, you guys be saying things, man. I got to see what you guys are saying. So, Mayweather's more of a scientist. Pacquiao more like a free-spirited kind of guy. He also got science behind what he's doing. Don't get it twisted. But he's more free-spirited. He's more people-centered. You feel a sense of humanity. I'm not saying that's what he is all the time, but you feel a sense of humanity. He reminds me of the Oscar de la Hoyas, the Sugar Ray Leonards, the Muhammad Ali's, even though Muhammad Ali was very brash, okay? But the Sugar Ray Leonards and the Oscar de la Hoyas, the Golden Boys, the guys that give you the warm, fuzzy feeling inside, the guys that come like underdog. Sugar Ray Leonard against Donnie Lalonde was like the underdog. Sugar Ray Leonard versus Marvin Hagler was like the underdog. You know, Manny Pacquiao doing the impossible, you know, that kind of thing. He give you that positive boost, you see? So that's what Pacquiao does. And a lot of people respond to Pacquiao because Pacquiao encapsulates that good boy image. You got it? That feel-good image. And then people villainize Floyd. And that's why they say he ducked and blah, 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 blah. And then he didn't have a perfect life and all of that, right? Outside of not to say that Pacquiao didn't, but yeah, so let me see what you guys are saying. So that's one of the best ways for me to describe boxing. You got some people who likes the general consensus of what people think are exciting fights, which is a lot of activity, a lot of throwing the punches and stuff, you know? Excitement. A lot of drama. That's why I said Pacquiao is greater than Floyd. All right, you guys been chirping away and I didn't realize it. Let's go. Let's go. I'm going to address a few more of your questions and then I'm going to have to get out of here because I got to go do something else. That's very important. What are you guys saying? You guys are saying yank. Intangible Boxing says, what do you think of Dillian White versus, excuse me, wow, Alexander Povetkin? Good fight. Good fight for Dillian White. Keep getting those names. Keep getting those guys that getting good wins. Povetkin got a good fight win over Tyson Fury's cousin, Huey Fury. Povetkin versus Dillian White's a good fight. Povetkin's a little bit over the hill, but that's okay. It's still a good fight for Dillian White. I think so. I would love to see him against Ortiz, but I don't know if that can happen. But I'd like to see it. Dom says, boxing has always seemed to start with Floyd and Pacquiao. Love. Well, you know, they're the great names in boxing. They're the money guys in boxing. And they've done phenomenal things. So that's why it begins with them. These days. Poobie Sistrong, what's happening, brother? I haven't seen you in a long time. Are you going on your other channel later? I want to, man. The Snyder Cut. I can't believe we won, baby. I want to talk about that so bad. Thank you for smashing that like button, by the way. All three of you. Dom says, yeah. Dom says, I appreciate Floyd, but Tank is the new star. Absolutely, 100%. I get you, man. I get you. It's a new generation. It's a new way of doing things. And this new generation is going to add to what the previous generation did. You heard Roy Jones Jr. was just talking about, various things with Newman. Forgot what his first name is. Not Paul Newman. The boxer now from the Mayweather boxing gym. Forgot what his first name is. And also Chris Eubank. And Roy was trying to impart, again, pass on to the next generation, And again, man, I gotta say, there are a couple of fathers of Floyd Mayweather, that make him great. One of the heavy influences, Floyd never really talks about it like that, but Roy's proud of him, is Roy Jones Jr. Roy Jones Jr. If it wasn't for Roy Jones Jr., I'm gonna say this on record. If it wasn't for Roy, Floyd wouldn't have done a whole bunch of things that you've seen him done in boxing. All right? Everybody was patenting Roy's triple left hook. Okay? Everybody in their own version, their own way. And I don't want to hear nobody talk, because a lot of people don't know Roy in his prime. Roy blew our minds. Okay? Roy blew our minds. Okay? And Roy's beaten a lot of world champions. He's faced a lot of world champions, okay? I'm talking some great fighters that made him look ordinary, okay? All of this stuff that Floyd be doing, Roy did, okay? Roy was dominant, okay? Roy used to come out in chariots and shit. Roy had his rap, can't be touched, can't be moved. Y'all don't know, man. Y'all must have forgot. Y'all know about that? Y'all know about Roy? Oh, shit. Oh, man. So, anyway, y'all don't know about Roy, man. Y'all don't know about Roy. Y'all wasn't around when Roy was around. I was around for Roy, man. I was around for Sugar Ray Leonard, too. But Roy was just special. He was different. But a lot of people don't know. A lot of people don't know. But it is what it is. Floyd took a lot from Roy, including the crossover fight with Conor McGregor would never have been possible if it wasn't for Roy Jones wanting to get that fight with Anderson Silva. Roy's the first guy. Everybody condemns Floyd. Roy don't condemn Floyd for facing Conor. He never would. You know why? Because he won that fight with Anderson Silva. Roy wanted that fight with Mike Tyson, too. And I heard him talking, chirping a little bit and kind of hinting towards wanting to face Mike if Mike really wanted to come back into boxing. You know what I'm saying? Roy Jones Jr., man. Roy Jones Jr. I mean, Roy he got that chin problem, though, on the left side of his face. He got that chin problem, you know what I'm saying? But, Roy, man. Oh, man. Roy, he's a fierce warrior, man. He a bad boy. Roy, still to this day, is a bad boy. His mindset is a bad boy. He still play King of the Mountain. Y'all must have forgot. He's a bad boy. I don't. You see, there's a lot to boxing that I really want to share with you guys, but it's all good, man. I really want to share it with you guys. Man. Because if you guys could see how I really feel about boxing inside here, a lot of you guys just don't understand, but it's okay. It's cool. Y'all don't understand who I am with time. It just takes time. That's all. Boxing changed my life, bro. Boxing changed my life. Tangible Boxing says the greatest representation for the art of boxing is Bahodir Jalolov. Hold on a second. Let me see this. He will be the undisputed heavyweight champ in 2024, 2025. All right, man. If you say so. I don't know who that is, so I guess you have been doing your scouting. Intangible Boxing says the new star of boxing is AJ. I don't know. They got a couple of stars out there. AJ one of them. But I'm partial towards Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury got that swag, that Mayweather swag. He weird. He clumsy as fuck. But he got the swag. He got that swag. He got that confidence. There's a confidence that comes from a place. It comes from a certain place, man. And Anthony Joshua was a scientist. Don't get it twisted. But Tyson Fury, man, he got that. Not only can he fight, that boy can box. Okay? And I don't think you guys respect how good this man is, Tyson Fury. But that's okay. That's okay. I've been talking about Tyson Fury since he beat Vladimir Klitschko. And I predicted Vladimir Klitschko would beat him. And I went back and studied him. And I said, oh, shit. This guy got skills. How he feint and all that shit. You know, he got skills. You know, he got skills. Tyson Fury got skills. I know Dillian White said he knocked his ass down and all that. And he's been knocked down. Hey, okay. Tyson Fury gets knocked down. Okay, cool. He kind of like Tito Trinidad. But he got hell of a chin. He get back up. You know what I'm saying? Not to say that Deontay Wilder didn't get back up, because he got back up. Every single time he got knocked down, he got back up. All right, so not that Wilder ain't tough either. But I'm just saying, you know, I'm just saying about Tyson Fury. That's just how I feel about him. And yeah, he's white. I don't care. You know, he's a gypsy. That boy can fight. Billy Joe Saunders can fight too. Them two boys can fight. I know a lot of people say Billy Ho Saunders and blah blah, and he does talk some stupid things. Billy Joe Saunders says some stupid ass shit, but that boy can fight. Okay? The one thing Billy Joe Saunders can do is fight. And he can box. Okay? So Intangible Boxing tell me he got the scoop on a gentleman named, I hope I get his name correctly, Bakhtir Jalolov will win the super heavyweight Olympics and beat Fury Filip Hrgovic for the undisputed, and he will retire Wilder. Okay. You know, you've been scouting, boy. I haven't been scouting that deep. I'm gonna check him out though. I'm gonna check him out. I promise you that. Do you think Fury will beat Wilder easily in the trilogy? Don't know. I can't say, bro. Wilder's got some other guys in his camp. I don't know. It'd be interesting. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't know. I don't see why Fury shouldn't beat him, but you just never know in the sport of boxing. He's a boxer. He faced him twice. He knows what Wilder brings to the table, so I wouldn't be surprised he beat him easily the third time. But you never know. Harash Vardan. Shout out to you, brother. Don't forget to smash that like button if you're coming through here. He said, what do you think of George Floyd? You mean the guy who got killed by the police? Terrible. Horrible. Terrible. Horrible. That man didn't deserve to die. Horrible. Terrible. Horrible. Terrible. I mean, what do you even like me to say? Them guys shouldn't, not only should they should be on trial for either manslaughter or murder. And this happens in America on a daily basis. Just so happened this one was caught on tape. Tangible Boxing says, I think Fury does beat Wilder fairly easily. I wouldn't see why not. I don't see why not. I mean, he's faced him twice. He's a boxer. This is what they do. He's adapted to him, so I don't see why he wouldn't beat him, you know, even more easily than he did the first two times. And he beat him two different ways. So, I mean, he's got options. Harsha Vardan says, don't you think the boxing world should react? I mean, I can't tell people what to do. I can't tell people how to react. I can't tell people what to do with their lives. I wouldn't do something like that. So how the boxing world wants to react to that is up to them. You know. But as of me, I'm telling you unapologetically, this nonsense needs to stop. Okay, a man whose life was taken. These people, that's what I said. You know, people talk about all lives matter. Okay, fine. All lives matter, including black lives. Okay, including black lives. They didn't see his life as mattering. You know what I'm saying? They didn't see his life as mattering. But his life matters. And now it's gonna make news, and they not only are gonna lose their job, they should be tried in a court of law for either manslaughter or murder. Because if this was the other way around, he was a policeman and they were hoodlums. What would they try their ass man, they come down heavy on them. So I know. No, they need to be tried. I don't hear that they were police officers. You are supposed to protect and serve. You're not protecting and serving there. And police officers got away with too much. Even in my country, they get away with stuff they shouldn't get away with. So I don't know what the story behind that could be. It could have been a vendetta or something. I don't know what it was. But what I do know is this man is dead. And how we look at it is he shouldn't have been. Okay, and they killed the man. Man was lifeless. We saw it on tape. That's crazy ass shit. Crazy. Okay? As if his life did not matter. Okay? So, I mean, the horrific stuff we see now on tape, I mean, some people are becoming desensitized to it. I think that we, as a part of the YouTube community, just as how we won with the Snyder Cut for Poopy Sistrunk, just as how we won with London Real, and they have established their own platform and they're pushing ahead with what they believe people should have freedom to do, freedom of speech. Just so I think we should galvanize as people and let these authorities know you serve us. We don't serve you. You serve us. You are supposed to uphold the law that we had you put there to do. And if you're not upholding the law, then we are going to ensure that you are persecuted by the very law that you're not upholding. You are not above the law. And so that's what we have to do as citizens. And if this man was in the black community needs to stand up, go to the police station, and demand that those officers get a trial, and demand that they be sentenced based on the tape footage. And they should not let up on that. And whoever is supposed to be elected, they should be fired in the next election, and they should elect somebody else if they do not come through with that. That's how they have to do it. You have to proceed. You are in control. They're not in control. You're in control. You elected them. They have to work for you. And that's how you have to do it. Right? And we're learning we have the power to do whatever we want on social media. We have the power to get movies that we want. We have the power to make sure that freedom of expression is done, and that YouTube doesn't just try and ransack us. And what's the other thing? LinkedIn and Facebook and Twitter. They can't. Twitter can't tell us what to do. We tell Twitter what to do. We have the power, but you guys got to take that power. Okay? You elected these officials. You elected the politicians. You elected the governors. You have to stand up and say, we're not tolerating this. We're not. And if guys like, are trying to abuse their power, then we do what is called civil disobedience, which is it's not airy-fairy, it's very organized. It's where we start to pull their power from them that we gave them. So you say you have executive authority? Okay, we're going to make sure and squeeze you on that, because we're going to make sure you're accountable for everything you say and do. Through civil disobedience, you will have to bow to us, not the other way around. We're not bowing to you. And when they learn that everything has a consequence to it, where we will take away this or we'll take away that, or we will now push for more of this and push for more of that strategically, they can't do nothing. They have to bow to us because we elected them, and we gave them the power and the responsibility to handle our affairs. It's like we're like the owners of a company, and we hired executives to run that company. And if the executives are not doing a good job, then we fire them. That's what we have in a democracy and representation of a republic. We brought people to represent us. And if you're not representing us, then you got to go. Right? Good. Tangible Boxing says, I gotta go now, guys. It's almost an hour. I've been following the amateur ranks more carefully. The Uzbek prospects are looking great. All right, man. All right. Okay. Good. Good stuff. Dom says, does the boxing world need to respect Andy Ruiz more for beating AJ? Yeah, of course. Of course. It is unthinkable. Great win for him. Great win for him. And Andy Ruiz just has to be more disciplined. Again, the weight problem seems to come up with boxers a lot throughout history. Okay, Duran had weight problems. You know, Errol Spence has weight problems. Andy Ruiz has weight problems. George Foreman had weight problems, and so on and so on. You know what I mean? And so, you know, I believe that it's very important that these guys get more discipline in their game. That's all. Be more disciplined. But I think that AJ confused Andy Ruiz with his movement. Yeah, even if Andy Ruiz was even sharper and all that, he still would not have caught up to AJ like that, because AJ was boxing fantastic. Intangible Boxing hits me with another name that it's kind of hard to pronounce, so I'm just going to kind of say BM. Okay, I'm going to call him BM for now. BM could be a boxing champion right now. Okay, I don't know who that guy is, so I don't know what weight class or anything, so you're going to have to share with us that information. I'm glad that you're looking at all kinds of things in boxing, though. That's great. Intangible Boxing says, police brutality is nothing new. They turned against the citizens now, I think. Yeah, I've seen that. I've even seen them going after white people and just randomly stalking people and terrorizing them. Yeah, I've seen that. You know, but even though it's nothing new, we have to decide. It's up to us. It's up to us. Nothing's impossible. It's up to us to decide what we're going to tolerate and what we're not going to tolerate. And if we just are cool with it, it's like, okay, it's another thing. That's just another thing. Fine, then they're going to just continue doing what they're doing. But when we say, nah, man, this is not cool, and we bring attention to it a lot, and we start bringing attention to every single incident that happens, and we start pulling them up in line and say, hey, follow through on this, or whatever, or you're not going to get elected next year, or whatever. And that's what's going to get them snippy snapping up into attention. And it don't matter who says what. Donald Trump can say whatever he wants. It don't matter. He could be president of the United States. He don't have more clout than us. I'm telling you, man, from experience, Snyder Cut, we kept it up for almost 3 years, and we got what we want. And the whole world, in the movie world, is turned upside its head. People got to eat their words, okay? They be watching you and what you say and what you're doing as a mass. Well, I'm just letting you guys know. And as boxing fans, if there's a fight you want to see, you keep on yelling and screaming and hollering about it, you won't get it. You're actually going to get it. They have to listen to you. Intangible Boxing says, Andy Ruiz can't cut off the ring. That's his problem. I mean, he can. He just couldn't handle Joshua's movement. See, Joshua's feigning as if he's going to go one direction and he goes another. He was stepping in and he was stepping out. He was changing range in so many different ways, laterally, inside. I could tell the dude was like, somebody schooled him really well in that. I don't know if Mayweather had something to do in the background with him, because, you know, he came to Mayweather's gym and Mayweather was showing him different kinds of power jabs and stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised if Mayweather had something to do with it, or somebody in Mayweather's camp had something to do with it, because he was really very in range. And it was hard for Ruiz to get a beat on it. And then Ruiz couldn't set because AJ kept him moving. You know, and AJ read him really well, so that when Ruiz was about to get to launching in there and doing something, AJ had done already offset him with a jab and a pivot. He was pivoting well. I mean, look at AJ. AJ was boxing really, really well, and I was shocked. I was kind of shocked. See AJ moving so well. I said, yeah, he beat him. You know, by the 6th round, I knew he beat Ruiz. Ruiz was not going to win this fight. He had a punches chance. It was a different AJ to the AJ we saw the night Ruiz beat him. Wasn't engaging as much, and even when he got in trouble in the engagement, he would grin, and then he would go back to his boxing. But Ruiz was confused. It wasn't even his weight. Like, even if he was on weight and on point, he was gonna get outboxed. Because AJ was just doing too much stuff. And he wasn't running around the ring, bouncing around the ring and wasting a lot of energy. He was boxing, taking his time. When Ruiz paused because he's confused and didn't know what to do to come in on AJ would stop in front of him. The distance control was beautiful. And when he's ready, he just popped the jab and pivot off of it. It was beautiful. So AJ was just calm, kept his composure, was real cool, everything. It was just, hey, it was a clinic. Beautiful stuff. He just outboxed him. Beautifully, too. From range. I don't know if Lennox Lewis had something to do with it. Floyd had something. Somebody was speaking to AJ, because that wasn't just his trainer. That was some stuff. I don't know if he studied the boxers who could do that, but yeah, it's about inches. And they see a lot of people don't understand that. You got to keep it real cool. And the guy just misses a punch, or you make him look really stupid and you make him pay. But you're not going to commit to everything, you know what I mean? You're not going to load up and try and take him out of there just like that. You got to be in trouble or something. Intangible Boxing says, Ruiz steps in on straight lines and he does not move laterally. Actually, he does step in off of angles. That's one thing Ruiz do. He shifts, he dips under your punches and he comes in off an angle. His jab is off an angle. But in this case, like I said before, AJ wouldn't let him set. So he couldn't find AJ first to step in off the angle. See, to come in off an angle on a moving person is harder than coming off an angle on a stationary person. Pacquiao comes off of angles all the time, but he couldn't get his angles that he wanted on Floyd because Floyd would pivot with him. You understand what I'm saying? See, when you're not just stationary, letting your opponents change up his angles, it's different. Floyd wasn't stationary, and Anthony Joshua wasn't stationary. As Pacquiao's about to move, Floyd's pivoting. You know, as Andy Ruiz was trying to make a move, AJ would pivot. So Ruiz couldn't get that jab to the pit that he wanted to do easily on AJ. AJ would take that away by taking the angle away. You understand what I'm saying? He wasn't coming off of straight lines at all. You understand what I'm saying? That's why I try to talk boxing to you fans, so you get an idea. It's more than what you think is happening in there. You see? That's why I love the science of boxing. You understand? Do you understand what I'm saying? See, AJ took that away from Andy Ruiz by moving at the right time. And he created the angle instead of Ruiz. You see, he nullified that angle that Ruiz was trying to make. You get what I'm saying? So it's not that Ruiz don't come off of angles. If he comes against another opponent who is more stationary than AJ was, now moving at a certain time, not pivoting at a certain time, those pivots make a big difference. Pivot is an angle, see? If I pivot around you, see, if I'm here and I pivot around you, you could pivot as well, but I just change the angle of approach. Especially if I anticipate you coming in on a pivot or coming in off of an angle. So by the time you double jab, change level and double jab, I'm not there. I'm elsewhere. You see? So it looked like you come straight in and I moved out the way, but it's not that. You came in off an angle, but I also created another angle. You see? If I was just stationary and I stayed in front of you, you would have looked like you came off an angle. You understand? Dome Boyer says Joshua tried to do his best Floyd impression in the rematch. I don't know if it was an impression. It looked very authentic to me, which means that he had some of that skill before, because this is stuff that take years to develop. So it means he had it in him, but then I believe they studied Floyd tapes or something and watched how Floyd would nullify an opponent. I believe they went and looked at either Mayweather or who else does pivots? Pernell does pivots, but Pernell does pivot in a totally different way. And he had southpaw. So I don't know who else they may have studied. Maybe it wasn't even Floyd. Maybe it was somebody else. But whoever it was well schooled in the pivot. Well schooled in it. You know. I wouldn't be surprised if it was Floyd, though. I wouldn't even be surprised Floyd was giving him tips. Personal tips. Floyd likes Joshua. Not everyone who boxes well is under Mayweather's tutelage. Yeah, I know. Intelligible Boxing says Joshua was more slick early in his career, but Klitschko on, he gained weight. Okay. Okay. It looked like he had it in him before. You know. Dom says, you make perfect sense, Mr. What You Need. Okay, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Tangible Boxing says he can pivot on the inside, but he does not know how to sidestep on the outside and get outside of the jab. That's why AJ constantly had to control him. And Ruiz did nothing to nullify it. Well, that's what I'm trying to tell you. I understand what you're saying about the pivot on the inside, but it's not just a pivot on the inside. See, I don't exactly know what you mean by pivot on the inside now that I think about it, because there's something called an inside pivot, which is where you go around your opponent to the side, either outside pivot, which is to the outside of the pivot, the person's jab, or inside pivot, which is the inside pivot. I'm not quite sure if that's what you mean, but I'm talking about coming in. He's coming in off an angle. I'm not talking about pivoting. So, like, for instance, Ruiz comes in off an angle. I'm not saying he shuffles in off an angle. He changes level and comes in off an angle. He doesn't come in off a straight line. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Even when he jabs to the pit, he's jabbing to pit off an angle. And he actually pivots himself as well, but he jabs off an angle and then pivots after. You understand? He don't stand right in front of you. He don't come in straight at you. Otherwise, oh, I got it back. They cut me for a minute. Yeah, I gotta go, guys. It's an hour and 7 minutes, 28 seconds, and I gotta make some money. Otherwise, if you guys can pay me, that would be great. But if not, then I gotta make money otherwise, you know. But I hear you, man. Yeah, he does some inside pivots as well. But I was talking about coming in off an angle, actually. I wasn't talking about just pivoting. And you were right. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying that's not what I was actually. Intelligible Boxing says, look it up. Joshua was 230 early in his career, but he got too much muscle. Okay, cool. Well, we'll see how he does from here on in. Is he chinny a bit? A little bit, but he got a lot of heart, so he gets back up. It's heavyweight boxing. You know, there was a guy in a group who said, name the heavyweight, the elite heavyweight in boxing that hadn't gotten stopped in his career. Almost all of them got stopped. And the only ones I could think of that didn't get stopped was like James Toney. He never got stopped, but he had defense, right? But almost all great heavyweights have been stopped. Think about it. Think about it. All of them. Almost all of them. Only the really great defensive ones haven't been stopped. Really, really great defensive ones, like James Toney. He's never been stopped. All right, people, I got to go, unfortunately. I hope you guys have a great one. I hope you enjoyed this chat session. I hope you smash the like button if you haven't. For the rest of you watching this video that's not a live stream, please share it with other people. Comment, subscribe, and if you want, you can donate via Western Union or MoneyGram. Just let me know. I'll give you the details. What is Western Union? Forget the MoneyGram for now, because COVID-19 and all of that, it gets complicated. Peace. I'm out.